Inside the stories that affect you. This is Inside KELOLAND.
Good evening and thanks for having us in. Well, the first day of a new school year is just weeks away. Can you believe it? While this is an exciting time for many kids, it can also be a dreaded time, especially those who are bullied. On tonight's Inside KELOLAND, how one group is using soccer to deliver an anti-bullying message. Various circumstances put children in foster care every day. How you can help foster families find clothes for those in their care. The opioid epidemic has taken a toll on hundreds of thousands of families nationwide. We'll show you the devastating market left on one Sioux Falls family. And the tough decisions farmers are battling in a difficult farming year. Well, it's a global problem with millions of students bullied each year. With the rise of social media and smartphones, the problem can show up almost anywhere. An upcoming event is aiming to draw awareness to the problem and drive home the importance of being kind. Joining us today to talk about the Freeze Out Bullying School program is Mark and Sherry Anderson. Thanks for being on with us.
Thanks for having us, Brady.
Well, I see you brought me a present. You must have heard that I played soccer when I was growing up, so
Yep.
No. This is an important prop about what we're talking about. So tell me about this program.
Well, the people that are coming, they are soccer freestylers or similar to Harlem Globetrotters, but with a soccer ball. And it's a great entertaining program they have, but they also tie in an anti-bullying theme, to educate and help kids all the way even to adults that are bullied, that they have a voice and there's people always there, that'll help and have their back.
Yeah,
and teach them to speak out.
So it's a serious message, kind of tied in with a fun way of delivering it.
Definitely, yep. It's entertainment and education.
Yeah, and so you were telling me before we started just about how this program really started from the ground up. Sherry, tell me about kind of the history about it.
The soccer program in T started with no uniforms, just a handful of players, no soccer balls. So the program has built from basically 2 kids all the way up to 50 kids. And every year we look to bring something special to the program, which is what brought us or made us think of bringing in the freestyle soccer players.
Yeah, and you said that they're like the Harlem Globetrotters for soccer. People love seeing that team. So do you get a lot? Hey, wait, there they are now.
Yep.
And look at them go. It looks like, is it a big crowd pleaser?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, all ages will love the skills of these guys, and they give this message throughout the show. They talk, and the kids really, they get into it.
Well, I mentioned playing soccer when I was growing up. I certainly could not do any of those tricks.
They're tough.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. The guys that come, one of them his name is Steve Elias. He goes by Eli Freeze. So if you do any kind of social media searches, you'll find him that way. And then there's Jamie Bruno, and he goes by Magnet. And you want to talk about Laura?
You know all more information than I do.
Okay. And then Laura Biondo is coming, and she is the female champ in the world. Jamie is the 3-time Canadian champ, and Steve, or Eli Freeze, is the world champ for men.
And he's kind of known as the godfather of freestyle. He's been doing it a long time and has always tied in messages to kids, and all 3 of them, they're very good at what they do, but they have a reason why they do it.
So when you have these people with such talent and I guess prestige in a room telling kids that bullying is not okay, does that hit home to a lot of kids then?
Definitely, yep. I think it does, and the way I look at it is I think it hits home with everybody.
Yeah.
From young to old.
And so who do you hope will take the time to attend this event?
Everyone, families, business people. Bullying it's evident everywhere. It's not just a school or a kid thing, really. As I look at it, it's in the workplace. You see it everywhere, and this helps keep it in the spotlight that hey, it can happen, and people have to speak up.
Yeah, and you make a good point. It's it can start in schools and it can linger in schools, but it does follow people around, through adulthood.
Yes.
Do you just hope that by having these events, people in our community working hard to bring these opportunities to people, do you hope to make a difference in your community and beyond?
Yep, that's kind of why we do it.
Yeah.
Our kids have graduated and are all gone, but we stayed in the program. I've kept coaching. Sherry helps, and because we want to help out. We want to help the kids mainly.
And then we have some information here. So do you want to tell people where and when they can go?
Go ahead.
It's at T. Area High School. It is Saturday, August 10th. It's a free event. It'll be that evening from 6 p.m. to 7:30. If you can, go to Eventbrite and register just so we can get a head count and know who's coming. We have a beautiful soccer football stadium there with turf, so it'll be a great event.
Oh, very good. One more thing?
If I can chime
Yeah.
in and just say, we had a ton of sponsors, both from Sioux Falls and from Harrisburg and
T, yeah.
and even my dad, all the way Leota, Minnesota,
Oh, very
chimed
nice.
in to help. So I just want, if it wasn't for the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to offer this program free.
Yep.
So we're very excited to have them.
Yeah, when we work together, good things can happen.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for being on with us. Do you need this back? Is it?
You can have that if
No,
you want.
just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I'm not going to let that roll off. When we come back, how you can help local foster families. Welcome back to Inside KELOLAND. Hundreds of children are currently in foster care in South Dakota. While many families have opened their homes to these children, they could use your help as well. Joining us tonight to share how you can support those in the foster system is Holly Christensen. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah. So you're part of the East River Foster Parent Network. What is this?
It's an organization that supports many aspects of being a foster parent. Whether it's you get a sibling placement during the middle of the night and now need a bunk bed the next day so that the siblings can stay together. We will search for a bunk bed, and if we don't, we will use funds that are donated to the organization to go purchase a bunk bed for a family. We also have scholarships for camp and activities or culture events that we can help support the families with. And then the other aspect is our clothing closet, which is something that I'm one of the 3 people in charge of. So we are open 2 times a week. We're open Tuesday nights from 4 to 7, and then Fridays from 9 to 12. On every week basis, where families can come in and get new clothes for foster kids that they've outgrown, season changes, or if they've got a new placement. We do get a stipend from the department. However, it doesn't go very far when you're starting from nothing. We currently have new socks and underwear and new pajamas that a local church donated. So we are always looking to partner with churches and organizations who would like to do drives to get us like diapers, wipes, new shoes, things like that. Most of our stuff is just donations of gently used items, toys, baby items. We take larger items if we have the storage space. But we can help families. So last week we had a worker come in. A kid came in during the middle of the night. It was a kinship placement, so they had nothing to start out with. So we were able to get them everything they needed for that kid, from baby equipment to baby soap, clothes, diapers, wipes. So it's helpful when you're in the midst of growing your family from maybe 1 or 2 kids to all of a sudden 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you think about all of these families who do want to help, but life changes for those families really quickly. And to your point, the family grows. So it really sounds like you're there to make that transition easy.
Yes. Yep. That's our goal, is to make the transition of kids coming into a family as easy as possible, being able to maintain as much as possible to the what the kid had before. So if they were in soccer before, to be able to maintain their ability to participate in that sport, so they have some kind of connection to where they've come from.
And you went over, several good points. One of the things you mentioned was the foster care clothing closet.
Yes.
So some more details about that. I mean, how vital is that to one of these children in the system?
It plays a huge role. A lot of the times they come with nothing. Some come with just a diaper on. Some have just the clothes they went to school in. So then you enter in a family with no clothes, nothing for the next day. So we don't want the kids to go to school the next day in the same clothes they left in. So it's important to us that they have the ability to come get clothes last minute. We will meet workers at the office during the middle of the night, so the kids have something to go to school in the next day.
I don't know if you've seen just the reaction to this, but when a child leaves a certain situation and goes into foster care, and you're able to help and support the families and the child with all these things that you mentioned, you know, how powerful is that to see, you know, that help in process?
It's pretty powerful. We've been a foster parent myself for 8 years. So a program like this, and that's how I got involved, is critical. It makes the kids feel loved and supported, not only by the family that they're in, but the people who are stepping up and donating the items. And when you donate them, you might always not realize your impact, but I've been working hard on sharing on our Facebook page impacts every week to try to get people to understand where their impact is, and you're not just donating used clothes or used items.
Yeah, it's for a family, a whole new family, yeah.
It is. It's to help keep families together and help them provide peace in that time when their life is falling apart.
Well, and just you know, remind everyone, what can they do to help, and what kinds of things are you needing? What types of donations?
We are having a big event coming up in just 2 weeks. It's August 8th, 9th, and 10th.
And there's the information right there for everyone.
Awesome, thank you. So we accept gently used or new clothing, underwear and socks. We ask that they're new. We accept shoes, furniture, like beds and things like that. Kind of depend if we have space or not. We're very limited on space at the moment, but we usually post on our Facebook page if we need something, and usually have quite a few people that step up and offer. So if you have big furniture, just feel free to contact us, and we can always post out there, and there's usually some kind of family that needs it.
Yeah, and we live in such a tremendously giving community.
Yes.
Do you see a lot of people who are stepping up saying, I want to help?
Yes. Since I started helping about 1.5 years ago, we've grown tremendously. We used to be 1 night a week for 4 hours. We are now 2 nights a week, and me and one of the other ladies are usually there at least 3-4 days a week during the day, just sorting through donations. So we've seen a huge increase in the last year, which is amazing because these kids deserve the world, and just that little bit helps them see the light.
Yeah. Do you need any volunteers for that?
We do. If you are interested in volunteering, either on the days we're open or at the events, you can contact us on our Facebook page or on our website, and then we will get in contact with you on how to sign up.
Yeah, very good. And in case you missed it the first time, there's the info you need for the Foster Care Clothing Closet, 2900 South Phillips Avenue in Sioux Falls, open Tuesdays 4 to 7 p.m. and Fridays 9 to 12 p.m. Yeah, and is there anything else that, you know, you've seen any stories about, success stories about families, you know, really helping a child in need?
Honestly, every week.
Yeah.
Every week. If a great way to see it and experience it is coming in and helping volunteer. But every week, it always happens. So there was a placement that someone got, so I went to the closet. We didn't have any of that size on hand. However, I showed up at the closet, and someone had dropped off a donation of the exact same size clothes and diapers that we needed for that placement. So every week we're seeing it, and so we're just trying to reach out more and share the experience.
Oh, that's so awesome, and thank you for sharing that with
Yes.
us.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take another quick break. Stay with us inside KELOLAND. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside KELOLAND. New data from the Drug Enforcement Agency is painting a clear picture of how the opioid epidemic spread across the U.S. 76 billion pain pills flooded the country over half a decade. Well, that number is astounding. The crisis has taken a very personal toll on one young Sioux Falls woman. Tonight, KELOLAND's Angela Kennecke has a story of how the opioid epidemic destroyed a Sioux Falls family.
Alicia and Sandra Salazar had to grow up fast. They lost both of their parents to opioid overdose. Now, 22-year-old Alicia is going public with her family's story in hopes of saving lives.
Imagine, it's 2011, your first day of high school, when you're overwhelmed with emotion, when you get a call later that day that your 12-year-old sister found your mom not breathing and unresponsive. She overdosed on oxycodone.
Alicia Salazar is telling her story in a video that has now been viewed thousands of times online. Alicia had just entered Lincoln High School when her mom, Crystal, overdosed at age 31. Crystal's death was ruled an accident and her cause of death multi-drug toxicity. Crystal had oxycodone, a muscle relaxant, and another narcotic pain reliever in her system. Both Alicia's mother and father, Gino, used prescription painkillers.
Some days they would either sleep a lot or they would be in a daze. They didn't make sense much of what they were talking about. And I knew when I seen behavior like that they most likely had taken their medicine, but at the time I just thought it was normal.
Alicia was nervous about high school, but her mother had reassured her it would all be okay.
I was so excited to go home and tell my mom, because she told me the day before, it's not going to be bad as you think it is.
Instead, Alicia came home to this.
And there was a bunch of cops and there was a bunch of ambulances and I just didn't know what was going on, and then they told me that your mom passed away, she didn't make it. So just me and my little sister, so I had to take on the role of helping raise her. Well, she was 12 at the time and I was 14, and trying to raise myself as a teenager.
Just a year later, in 2012, her half-sister Katrina died at the age of 28.
So she overdosed on
oxycodone. It made me mad that she's even putting us through that, making us watch her do the same thing again that my mom just did. And she was there for my mom's funeral. She was there to help us through it. And so for her to do that again, I was just angry at the time.
Alicia says she and her younger sister leaned on their father, even though he was often traveling for his job in construction.
He was really goofy and he was really funny, and he did make it easier after we lost my mom and my sister, because even though it was hard, he still was there to put a smile on our face or make us laugh when we didn't want to.
But Gino Salazar was also dealing with bad knees and other pain from years of hard labor.
There was days again where I'd see the same patterns as I seen in my mom and my sister, and then again I just got angry. One day, actually the day he died, he was talking about my mom like she was still alive, and he made no sense, and I was just angry with him, and I was like, you're really gonna do this to us?
On July 15, 2014, Gino Salazar died of a morphine overdose.
And so I moved him, asked him to get up, and he wouldn't, and then I just started shaking him and pleading and crying for him to wake up. And then I went to the room and told Sonny, we need to call 911, Dad's not breathing and he's not moving.
A few weeks later, Alicia began her senior year in high school.
They've missed all the big milestones.
Milestones like graduation. Alicia's first stop after getting her diploma was her parents' graves.
We got like flowers and we put them in like a heart around my mom's.
She says she's learned a lot since her parents' overdoses about the powerful hold opioids can have on people.
I wish my parents had more knowledge at the time of what was going to happen and what these pills were. But when they were taking them, I'm sure were convinced themselves that they weren't addicting and that they could just stop using them at any time. They just needed them for the pain.
Alicia says both she and her sister suffer from anxiety and depression in the wake of all the trauma they have experienced. Alicia has found healthy ways to cope.
Every time I felt like down or had a bad day, going to the gym really helped me just release all the stress I had.
Now Salazar hopes to educate others through videos like this one and by telling her story.
Unfortunately, I don't have to imagine any of this. This is my reality.
So I could either, go one of two ways with it. I could either go down the same path that I've seen everybody in my life do, or I can rise above it and do better and prove to not only my parents or my sister, but to myself that I'm gonna do what I set my mind to, and I'm gonna rise above everything else that life handed to me, and that I can make it better.
Alicia now plans to practice public speaking and become a certified personal trainer. She and her sister, who graduated from Lincoln in 2017, are moving to Colorado this summer to be closer to relatives.
You can read more stories like these and find out where to get help if you or a loved one is suffering from addiction by going to this story on KELOLAND.com. For generations, area farmers have taken pride in working the land and creating a business to one day pass down to their children. With tough economic times and bad weather, some men and women are facing the reality that the family farm may die with them. Tonight we show you why bankruptcy attorneys are seeing more cases this year, and we'll check in with a local farmer about a current life in the fields.
Why can't you just take this one?
I could, but then those are the fuel filters, so I'd spill fuel all over the place.
Sometimes it takes quick and steady fingers
to make a piece of equipment work.
It's amazing what you can learn.
Jonathan Hagena hopes to take these lessons of hard work and perseverance and hand them down to his 2 sons. And if they want, maybe pass down a family tradition.
I think I'm the 5th generation now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the 5th generation.
Hagena is well aware farming has its ups and downs. He says with all of the rain, he's only been able to plant about 15% of his crop this year.
It is too late to plant corn and soybeans.
While Hagena says this year hasn't been easy, he considers himself lucky and says it's not going to ruin him. Other farmers in the region are filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah, last year was difficult. This year has been devastating.
Attorney Claire Gary handles restructuring and Chapter 12 bankruptcy filings for farmers. He says he typically may see 2 or 3 per year. This year, he's seen nearly 50 cases.
It's usually the family farm, so it's usually their dads and their grandpas, and you're looking at generations.
Gary says that last part takes a heavy emotional toll on the people who come to his office.
They feel like the failure. I mean, their grandfather made it, their father made it, why can't they? Or, they'd always hoped to pass it on to the next generation. So that's probably the most difficult.
While many in the area are hoping for some relief, Gary says what we're seeing now is similar to the farm crisis in the 80s.
It doesn't look good for the near future.
There are a few reasons why things are so bad. First of all, there's the weather.
If you drive around the country, all you see is water.
Gary says crop prices are down, inputs are up, land and rent prices are still maintaining. Opinions are split on President Trump's tariffs. Supporters believe they'll help farmers in the long run, but Gary says the trade war isn't helping farmers' bottom lines right now.
It just makes the whole thing more difficult when all your costs stay up and the sale of crop prices are down.
Restructuring farms may provide some farmers protection, but even then, Gary says filing Chapter 12 has to first be a feasible option.
If you restructure debt, you still have to pay the restructured debt. So if you take equipment loan that's due in a 3-year term and you stretch it out to a 5 or 6 or 7-year term, you still have to be able to make those payments.
As for Hagena, he's optimistic. He says prices are starting to get better.
So that gives us a better chance at next year being a good year. If we get it planted and the prices are good, then that's a good thing for us.
Come what may, it looks like Hagena will have a few helping hands right there with him. Farmers and ranchers struggling with what's been going on this year are encouraged to talk to someone. Avera Behavioral Health has a free and confidential farm and rural stress hotline. You can find out more about today's topics online at KELOLAND.com. Just click on the Inside KELOLAND section. Join us every Sunday following the 10 o'clock news right here on KELO TV. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us again next week for more on what's going on inside KELOLAND.